Okay, welcome to my channel. So as most of you know that are already subscribers, I make a lot of videos in regards to Section 8 low-income housing and other issues and wraparound services in regards to that, okay? Today we're going to talk about Habitat for Humanity and whether or not it would be a good fit and whether they would want you in their program to get one of these homes. First thing I'd like to do is start doing some reading because I believe that we all, and actually I was surprised at some of the things that I learned, okay? I think the presumption we all get is, okay, these people get all the materials, they get all the labor out there, they build the home, they give it to you, and it's paid for. It's very contrary to what you believe, okay? So let's start here. Habitat for Humanity builds houses to help those in need and then sells the houses to the homeowner, okay? So they sell you the house. Because of the Habitat's no profit, no interest loans. Now, we have no interest loans already. We just did a video on that in the government where there's no obligation other than you pay a note, okay? And because those houses are built principally by volunteers, mortgage payments are affordable for those who are unable to obtain conventional financing for a home. Habitat homeowners typically earn incomes that are 30 to 50% of the median income in the area. You know, this sounds a lot like people are paying for all the materials. They're giving you a loan. Okay, they say a no profit loan. And what really is the difference between you going and using the government program, zero interest, zero down, 3%, than using this where you're simply paying their mortgage, through them. Now, I don't know if they're actually utilizing the actual programs we're talking about or if they have their own in-house financing. But what I do know is, I think that we've all watched TV and we've all come to some determination these houses were free. And so, no, you're paying for it. They're just going to build it for you, and then you're going to pay for it, okay? Let's go on. So right down here, it says very clearly they want 3 to 500 hours of sweat equity. Okay, well, we talked about that just the other day about the zero down and all that through the program, USDA loans. You don't have to build the house, in order to get it through the government. It's you just get the home that you want. It may not be brand new, but 3 to 500 hours with that. If your math serves you correctly, that sounds around. If you work 40 hours a week for about 8 weeks, maybe 12, you would cover the 3 to 500 hours. Okay, I could see, I could see this, but here's my question. They never make it very clear if the house, first of all, if you're getting all the materials and the house ultimately is completely free, so all these builders are chipping in, giving all the materials, and then they're selling you the house. I don't understand that. If the stuff that you're building the house, all the materials are free, then what is there to pay for? And then why are you having to go through some private mortgage to pay them? I don't get that. If everything's free, then why are you paying? Why isn't the house just free? So, anyways, 3 to 500 hours of sweat equity. Well, you can go through the other programs through the government and just not put any equity, sweat equity into it. Just get the home. There's no battle there. You just pay the mortgage. That's, the mortgage and the mortgage, and of course your home insurance and then your insurance for the year, your your taxes on your property. But I mean, I'm not quite. Now I can see if these guys are, hey, you know what? We're going to give you 25% of the value of the home. So if it's $100,000 home, we're going to cover the first 25,000, then you'll be responsible for paying the mortgage for the remaining 75. But I'm not sure that anything's being paid. So it sounds like, that these homes, everything's being donated, so the house is already paid for in that respect. Then you're paying a mortgage to who I don't know for something that's already paid for. Then you contribute 3 to 500 hours into that. And like I said, I do not know you know, if the free stuff in the mortgage they're offering is already partially covered. It just sounds very tricky to me. I don't know. I'll let you guys weigh on that. Maybe some of you know better than me. But look, let's go down some other interesting facts, okay? Because, the objective here is not for me to beat up Habitat for Humanity. I do think that it could be a good thing if I'm misunderstanding what this is about. So anyways, it talks about building houses and people, and regardless of their race and different things, okay? Uh, you know, there's a lot of things going on in the country right now regarding race and immigrants and different situations out there. And I don't ever believe that. Let me tell you something. It's hard enough just to be human, right? Then you get down, you have people that are bigots, they're racist, they're prejudiced. And then you take it down another step, and then you've got people that have money that are being discriminatory towards people that don't have money. And so we have this long division. So then, we have people that are discriminating against, their own people. And so the absurdity of all of this just to get housing. But it sounds like they're saying that they're willing to help anybody who's willing to that needs it. So, I think that's a positive thing. But what bothers me here is if we look at it a little further into it, first of all, it's a 15 to 30-year note. If you're building a home that costs under around 100K, which is basically what they're offering you, there's no reason for that to ever go 30 years. So you're talking maybe a 15-year, possibly. That just seems like an exaggerated amount of time, and does the interest last all that long? Okay. So they go on to talk a little bit later about having a 620 credit score. Let me ask you a question. How many people out here do you know that don't make a lot of money, that are low income, that don't have any bill problems? And if you have bill problems, don't you have credit problems? So exactly what tier of low income are you willing to deal with? Are you willing to deal with only the top echelon of people that just have been homeless 5 minutes and need the home? And are we going to exclude everybody else that's actually realistically the human version of being, low income? That's my concern. Let me give you an example. Just like in homeless shelters, like I said, I spent 10 years out on the street. I noticed a very common thing. When they roll through a line of people coming in to get free meals, they'd only want to walk up to the people they believe were the highest functioning people, to put in these Bible programs and different things that provided free labor, basically to run their shelter for free. And the reason they chose the higher function ones, was for obvious reasons. But, at the same time, doesn't that, it sounds a lot like a discriminatory deal there that you're excluding so many people. Look, if I just don't think that you would not have financial problems. And to say that somebody that's going to be a low income has got a 620, man, is pretty amazing. So, anyways, it goes on to say that they'll allow they'll allow people to move in from poverty to fancy new homes. I don't know about that particular scenario. I've never seen a fancy home. Matter of fact, they say that they build modest homes. You only get a choice of the color of the flooring, the paint on the walls, and I think one other thing. Other than that, you have absolutely no options to change anything. So here's some examples they give you. The home should not exceed 1,000 square feet. I mean, that's a little bit bigger than your average small apartment. Okay, so how is this a fancy new home? Okay, it states that the Habitat house is just over $50,000 now. So it's only going to be 1,000 square feet. It's only going to be a house worth 50,000. It's already all the materials are already paid, but yet you need to pay a mortgage, and you need to pay that mortgage for 15 to 30 years. I have some concerns with that, okay? I have some very big concerns because, first of all, you can go out and get you a $150,000 house that's been defaulted under a normal program for mortgage, and you would get a home that actually would be valued a great deal more than that. You're actually paying a mortgage against something that's owed. The houses that they appear to be offering are completely paid for, but you're paying again. I don't know. Okay, so Habitat houses are houses in lower neighborhood values. That seems like an issue between that and the neighborhood. People always have opinions, and different attitudes about that. But we'll move on to the next one. Habitat homeowners sell their houses and make a large profit because of the original low cost. You know, we've heard stories about people getting these homes built for them and they turn around and sell them. I believe that's probably against the agreement for the first year to 5 years. And in fact, if you own a mortgage on it, they may not actually sign over that mortgage to you for a year or two. And yes, it may be a zero mortgage while they hold that mortgage in that agreement, but the minute they turn it over to you, then that mortgage could be transferred over to a lender that can charge you whatever. I simply don't know. They don't. I haven't had time to peel back all the terms and services on these houses to see whether or not that's the case. Moving on, Habitat for Humanity is a Southern poverty program. Well, let's be honest. It was created in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, this is where all it kicked off. Okay, I think that The program probably got its start down south, but as far as I know, it is around the world, international. I know down here in Texas we hear about it a lot. I don't know about you folks up north, but I'm sure you can let me know. Habitat for Humanity is an arm of the government. I can guarantee it is not. It has nothing to do with the government. They may be utilizing the government's programs that are already free to you to start with, but I know that they are not. So I don't even need to read what that says. Habitat for Humanity was started by former Jimmy Carter. That is absolutely true in some respects. However, I doubt he was ever out there with a hammer and doing any kind of paperwork behind a desk in regards to this program. I think that he probably had some political motivation to see this happen. Moving on, Habitat for Humanity has chapters in every state throughout the world. I doubt it's every single place, but probably everywhere. So, I want to come to a clear conclusion on this. I'm going to check the time real quick, but so we're at about 10 minutes. So, there's a lot of questions this raises, okay? You could just as easily just go, you get the zero down, no interest, and just go buy a home, and then you're actually paying for something you own equity in. Or you can go through all of this stuff. And I have concerns about the 620 credit score. Look, like I said, anybody that's low income is going to have problems with bills. And so if you're only going to cherry pick the top 1%, I don't know how realistic that really is. So, for those of you that are that 1% that are at the top echelon of being low income, this would probably be an ideal situation in many ways. One, it's a new home. It's only going to be worth about $50,000 in material and only 1,000 square feet, but it's a nice little home, and then you're going to pay for the next 30 years. I don't know if this is the most efficient way to do things for that small little space. I don't know that you can flip 1,000 square foot home, brand new or not, for that much money either. So, folks, my opinion on this, I think that they're being forthcoming. I think that probably it's written in terms of service, but I think that there's probably a lot of hooks in this deal that may not be worth dealing with. Okay, so that's my opinion. I have nothing against them or for them. I just wanted you to see just a small picture frame or a window into what the program's about. And I don't think even a normal mortgage through the USDA or through the federal government has this many hooks in it or requirements. And what happens if you're disabled, in a wheelchair, mentally ill, have a drug problem? Are you going to be able to do $500 of sweat equity into a house that all the materials, and that's the part I can't get past. How is it everything is donated and every piece of material plus the labor is donated, but yet you've got to pay a 30-year mortgage to who? Who exactly is getting this money for the house that's already paid for? So, yep, that's what I wanted to tell you guys about this. No, these houses aren't free. You need to pay. Okay? Thanks for your time and have a great night.